Every man is two men. Every single man, you included, is two men. Right? I don't mean in terms of your mood, like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde Star. Like, yeah, sometimes I'm fucking angry, I'm happy, I'm sad. Sometimes I'm in the mood to be introverted, sometimes extroverted. I'm talking about that. I'm talking about at your core, your two men, and 98% of men live as their primal self. The version of them that is, if you break it down, they're ran by fear, but essentially they're just in survival mode all the time. This isn't about how much money they make or what sort of life they've got. This is not logical. This is just how you're designed to live at your primal level, and it takes a bit more effort to tap into the higher version of yourself, and that's the second man that every man has the potential to be. You can be your primal self, your lower self, or you can be your inner king, your higher self. That's your core. When you activate him, life is wildly different. You don't have a slightly different mood, you are a different man. There's a reason that when guys come on the King program, we have a set process, the King protocols that unlock this version of you. They say things like, I finally feel like my authentic self. I finally feel like who I'm supposed to be. My marriage is better. I don't feel like I've even done anything differently. I'm just moving as a brand new man. This is a rebirth, right? Your inner king coming to the surface and you living as him is a rebirth, but most men never get to experience it. I like to think of it day by day. I said to my kings this morning, I said, this week, you have the potential to live as two different men. Most men will live as their primal selves. They'll do things because they're afraid of certain things happening or not happening. They'll self sabotage. They'll talk them out of things that actually would have been incredible because they're scared. 2% of men, the kings, will win. It looks effortless. People wonder how they do it. People will ask their advice and they'll roll their eyes and be like, you can do this, you can do that, but there's no point trying to teach people strategy and tactics for how to control their life. You can't just say, do these habits and you'll be better. You have to unlock a version of you that doesn't even exist yet when you're running as your primal self. Right. And you probably felt this in your core. Most people have felt this deep internal pull to do something. And this is the crazy thing. And I've seen this in business and in terms of personal development. People try and find themselves, right? They try and find themselves, or they're trying to find the model or strategy or niche or whatever it is of business that best suits them. And they always, if they're successful, end up doing a full circle. Because who you're supposed to be, there's been clues since the day you were born. Since the day you were born, you were wired a certain way. Because the inner king is different for everyone. That's your authentic self. It will look wildly different from person A to person B. But the commonalities, same as the primal brain, is different on all people. But the commonalities are they can't control what they eat, they have low energy, they're snappy and moody, they will always spend what they earn. Like profit is not a natural thing that happens for the primal brain. It can't be. It's not in any of the animal kingdom. It's crazy. Like we hear animals that surplus kill, like orcas have been known sometimes to surplus kill. That means kill things and not actually eat it. Kill things when they don't need to eat. It's phenomenon. It's wild. Whereas humans are expected to do that. Like to have a really good life, we need to do that. We need to surplus kill. We need to make money and put some away and save some. But it's so unnatural. So these are commonalities of the primal brain running the show. You will just you'll no matter how much you earn, you will spend every penny of it. You will not invest in yourself because you can't. Because as far as you're concerned, these necessities you have to do. I have to go out with the guys like on the weekend. I've had a stressful week. My family they need a 55-inch TV and all the subscriptions. I'm doing it for them. People are convincing themselves anything, whereas really it's just making sure you spend what you earn because your primal brain running the show. They'll be afraid of most things. Even if they don't word it like that, it will be worded as caution or not the right time, or this just isn't me, but it's just fear of being judged, fear of failing. There's hundreds of fears, but the primal brain runs on fear. So there's loads of commonalities, but there's commonalities, even though the inner king is wildly different between people because it's your authentic self, there's commonalities. Ruthless control. You will obsess over control in every area, and primal brains will say you're a control freak, but really you realize you're just a control king. You just want your life to be in order. Why would you not want control? You control what you eat. And people could look at that and think that's obsessive, that's crazy, but it's not. It's so obvious. Control what you put in your mouth so that you're healthier, you look better, you have more energy. It elevates you in ways. The first thing we do with kings is control their intake. So we can transform them physically in the most efficient way possible, but also to elevate their consciousness because the primal brain fuels itself, runs, feeds that fear on you just eating whatever the fuck you want. Like this is, I've said this before, right? Dessert stomach. People say, oh, even if I'm full, I can have dessert stomach. Of course you can, because your primal brain sees this high sugar or high fat thing. And even if you are full to the fucking brim, it will send signals saying, get that downrange. We need it, right? So elevated consciousness through controlling what you eat. They won't feel a pull to sedate. There's no pull to sedate. So if they want to watch something on TV, they'll watch something, but they won't sit down and be like, I need to be entertained. This is the only option for me. Like I don't drink. I've had 3 drinks in the last 2.5, 3 years. Right. I remember every single one because there's a reason for every single one. Right. Like when Amber was pregnant and we weren't telling anyone yet, and our neighbors invited us over to their house for Christmas drinks, and they poured her a glass of wine, and she didn't want to be rude, so I was like, "Don't worry about it." So I just saw it off, like, and it wasn't a pull to sedate myself. It wasn't because I need it because it's a stressful week. It was just because I saw this as as something I was going to do for her. It wasn't a big deal. No hangover. Got up at 4, trained the next day. All good. Most men need it to sedate. So whether your inner king's active or not doesn't really have a bearing on whether you drink alcohol or not. It's just the reason you're doing it. If you need a beer after work, your primal brain is running the show. If you see an old friend you haven't seen in years and years and years, and he brings a bottle of whiskey over and says, "Hey, should we have a drink together?" And you think, you know what, I'd love to do that, and you have one, that's cool. That's not sedation. It's a choice. It's a choice of elevation. You just think, you know what, if I share a whiskey with this old friend, I feel like it's gonna be a celebration. I feel like we're gonna connect. I feel like it's gonna be awesome. Right? You may do that. There's the primal brain is sedating because it needs to escape the reality that it has created based on fear. The inner king just does things for a reason. You can trust yourself. When you're the inner king, you can trust the thoughts you have. It makes sense to do certain things. You can trust yourself. Whereas the primal brain, you can't trust a single thought because they're all rooted in fear. And if you move with fear, you can't elevate, can't get ahead. Fear just wants to keep you small. This is your 2 choices you have this week. Today, this millisecond, in the next 30 minutes, you can run as the king or you can run as the little ape that you evolved from thousands of years ago. It's your choice. But just look at the clues of how you're living. Because most men, I would say 50% of men think they're running as the king, but they don't look at clues. I've once heard that you're the only person, this is obviously true when you think about it, you're the only person that sees you as you see you because you know yourself completely differently to how everyone else sees you. So you ask yourself, what evidence is there that I really am the way I see myself? And a lot of men would be really upset, delusionally angry about this piece of evidence, right? If you say, guys say, I'm a man of my word. Most men say that. Most men say, I'm a man of my word. Most men are not men of their word. What most men mean by that is, I will keep my word if convenient, if I still want to do it, unless I can think of a good excuse. That's what they mean. So if you say, watching this right now, are you a man of your word? You might be saying yes. You might be saying no. You know what? I'm going to fucking change. And these are the killers. These are the killers that are going to wake the king up. Other guys will say, yeah, I'm a man of my word. Okay, well, how come when you told your missus you were going to drop weight last year, you didn't do it? You tried for a week or two and then you stopped going to the gym. And they'll say, well, yeah, because work got crazy. I couldn't go to the gym. Well, she was being unsupportive. I was trying to eat healthy, but she was making the kids chips and burgers and etc. etc. Every reason. But the simple fact is you didn't keep your word. So you're not a man of your word. It's wild. Most guys will say, yeah, I'm pretty disciplined, but I do fall off track sometimes. Then you're not disciplined. Discipline is moving towards something intentionally with control, despite obstacles, despite mindset, despite moods, you move that way. That's what discipline is. Right? If guys say, yeah, I can be really disciplined, but other times I'm just not, then it's just not discipline. It's just sometimes you happen to want to do the thing that maybe is linked towards that discipline. Maybe sometimes you want to train. Sometimes a mate drags you to the gym and you're like, yeah, sometimes I get to the gym. That's not discipline. How do you see yourself and what traits are you proud of? What traits would you want your partner, your kids, your best friends to explain that you had? Would they say, yeah, yeah, this guy, he is this, 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 this? And then ask yourself, is there evidence that you are those things? Not how you think, not based on the excuses you can say, like truly is there evidence? And most guys will be really, really, really disappointed with that. Are you strong? Most guys will say, yeah. Where's the evidence that you're strong? Like, and guys that are weak will think, well, there's more to being strong than looking strong and actually being physically strong. There's mental strength. If you have mental strength, you are physically strong. If you are mentally strong, like really mentally fucking powerful, you would not allow yourself to have a weak physique. That'd be wild to you. Most guys will say they're a good father or they're a good husband. Now, a lot of guys, even if their bags are shit and they're not setting a good example, which I believe is the peak of king tier fatherhood, they're still looking after their kids, which is awesome. Most guys do that, right? Especially where I'm from in this culture. I know there's different cultures, but like it's frowned upon like crazy for a man that will step up for their kids. But also, guys will justify doing things that aren't leading the way, especially with their wives. Guys will just think it's normal. Yeah, I was just having a joke around my friends talking shit about my wife. That's a crazy thing to do. It's not what a good husband does. Some guys think they're good husbands because they just do everything their wife wants them to do. That's not being a good husband either. That's just being a fucking doormat. It's being another child that she has to deal with. A good husband does certain things. He always keeps his word. This will be a running theme. If you're watching the Way to King content anywhere, I'll be talking about keeping your word. We have a saying on the King program, DWYS. You'll see guys posting hashtag DWYS, right? Do what you said. We do what we said we were going to do, right? So that's what a good husband does. He does what he said. He's honest. He doesn't lie. Lying is for cowards. If you lie, you're basically saying, I'm afraid of the consequences of this thing that's happened or I've seen or I've heard or I've done. Lying's for cowards, right? He keeps himself attractive. This is not vanity. It's crazy that guys don't get this. It's almost like a badge of honor for some guys. They say things like, "Yeah, I don't really care what I look like." Even they'll put a little caveat on it that, like, as long as I'm healthy, they won't be healthy. They'll just what they mean is they have a piece of fruit every Saturday, right? They have some orange slices halfway through their five-a-side, but then they go out and smash loads of fucking beers afterwards. That's what they do. A good husband will make sure he stays attractive for his partner because if she left you and you were back on the game, you would absolutely make sure you looked good. And you see this from both sides, from men and women. As soon as they get out of a serious relationship and they realize they're back on the market, they start grooming themselves properly, get into the gym, getting in shape. Why the fuck didn't you do this for your partner? Because you expected them to settle. Maybe because you believe that you're opposing forces and because they let themselves go, you should let yourself go, not realizing it was actually you first because men lead relationships. And if you do something, your wife's absolutely going to do it. If your wife has stopped looking after herself, it's because you stopped, for sure. If your wife just constantly nags and goes on at you because you're showing up as a bag of shit, it's because when she does nag off at you, you fail that test and she just keeps coming back over and over and over again to see if you finally stepped up and can move like a man. Everything is a mirror when it comes to a husband and his relationship. So these are common clues. So you have a choice this week. You can run as the king, you can run as the lowest form of yourself, your primal brain. And the only difference is your thoughts, because that's what creates your mood, your actions, your energy you put out there, how people respond to you. That's another common clue of running as the king. You are magnetic. If you're running as the king, everyone will want a piece of you 100% of the time. If no one really wants to hang out with you, no one really asks your advice, no one wants to spend time with you, no one really rings you and sees if you want to hang out, you're not running as the king. Because when you run as the king, when you're around people, it elevates them. They feel really good about themselves. You know how to talk to people. You're not a reactive, moody, angry, negative piece of shit. They can just sense it. People are more drawn to you. You'll make friends easier. People will talk to you that wouldn't normally talk to you before. Everything's a clue. And a massive clue that people will ignore when they don't understand universal law is good things will just happen to you all the fucking time. You'll hear from a friend you haven't spoke to in years. You'll win something. You'll suddenly business or career will just start moving really fucking fast. Some opportunity will just land in your lap that you've been waiting for. Luck will happen. If you run as the king, life opens up to you. And just remember, it's all based on your decision. Any sort of negative inner voice that says to you, oh yeah, but I can't do this because of this, that's your primal brain. And the more you ignore it, laugh at it. That's what we teach the guys to do. You laugh at your primal brain. Fear, you smile and laugh at it and go hard as fuck the other way. It gets quieter and quieter. It never truly goes. Just like when you're running with your primal self, your inner king never truly goes. The voice just gets quieter or louder based on how aggressively you feed it, based on how often you go out of your way to prove that voice correct or wrong every single time. So this week, today, this week, for the month, rack it up hour by fucking hour. Only run as the king. If you want to unlock him and build a body and mind that allows you to thrive and reach your true potential, I mean, get ripped up in the most hyper efficient way possible and elevate your mindset so it's reprogrammed to see the world through your most authentic eyes, through your empowered self. Click the link in the bio or the description wherever this video is. Apply for the program. This is how we wake the king.